The arrival of a beard on an artist's chin can be a crucial moment in that artist's creative life. Though usually short-lived, a beard can signal anything from a renewed creative commitment to the beginning of a long backslide into obscurity. Some beards, such as that sported by Leon Russell, command respect. Others, such as those dangling from the chins of indie rock artists like Doug March of Built to Spill, make the artist look ludicrous. Eager to lodge our entry into the teeming, controversial popular discussion on beards and the rock musicians that love them, we have compiled for those interested in both rock and roll and beards this rough list of the major rock beard types. In a class by itself, the ZZ Top is probably the most culturally resonant of all the rock and roll beards, if only because this Texas band has maintained their distinctively long, shaggy beards in mint condition for 3 hot rod driving, tush-looking decades. ZZ Top is also worth noting in that their only member without a beard bears the distinctly ironic moniker, Frank Beard. This is the beard that birthed the distinctive ZZ Top beard. Copious, leonine, and manly, this beard has flourished on chins of distinction in bands such as Lynyrd Skynyrd, the Allman Brothers, and The Band. Perhaps brought to the apex of perfection by Leon Russell, this beard makes its wearer seem simultaneously rugged and aristocratic. Given that Rastafarians also espouse a back-to-nature philosophy coupled with an aspiration to noble yet informal demeanor, the Rastafarian beard can be seen as reggae's answer to the redneck rock Grizzly Adams beard. The most distinctive Rastafarian beard is sported by Winston Rodney of Burning Spear, but notable examples have also been worn by Freddie McGregor and Lee Scratch Perry, who also occasionally wanders into a different category, the can't quite grow a beard. The best-known examples of this beard were sported by the Beatles during their Abbey Road days and select members of the Beach Boys around the time of Pet Sounds. Shaggy, yet well-tended, this beard usually accompanies an artist's release of a particularly innovative, if not always good, record. Also note Bob Dylan's entry into the genre during his New Morning days. Though it can resemble the creative artist trying something out beard, the letting yourself go beard is in fact the antithesis. While the former often accompanies the release of an innovative, creative album, the latter accompanies a period of creative stagnation, weight gain, or nasty public rumor. This beard is aggressively shapeless and often embarrassing, and has swallowed whole such illustrious chins as Jim Morrison during the LA Woman period, Jerry Garcia, Axl Rose circa Use Your Illusion, and MCA of the Beastie Boys. Cultivated to increase swoonability and yet oddly fey-looking, the heartthrob 5 o'clock shadow has served George Michael well over the years, while still finding time to slither across the rugged jawlines of actors like Miami Vice-era Don Johnson and a pre-Demi Moore Bruce Willis. Devotees to this hopeless cause include the guys from seminal boy band Color Me Bad. So named after its appearance on the chins of both Kenny Rogers and Kenny Loggins. Similar to the heartthrob 5 o'clock shadow in its discrepancy between handsome intention and oddly effete execution, the Kenny is lean and well-groomed and always accompanies feathered hair. When not confined exclusively to people named Kenny, this beard has appeared on the Bee Gees and Alabama. Like the Kenny, this beard is close-cropped and well-groomed. It was most commonly worn by smooth R&B singers from the 1970s and 80s. Marvin Gaye's beard was everything rhythm and beard should be: handsome, polite, and gentlemanly. But Teddy Pendergrass also had a fine rhythm and beard, as did Barry White and Curtis Mayfield, before their beards evolved into the letting yourself go beard and the bohemian beard, respectively. Speaking of which, the Bohemian Beard's best white exemplar was Peter Yarrow from Peter, Paul and Mary, and Shel Silverstein lodged an entry into this genre with his bald head / bushy beard look. But in general, this beard has flourished best on the chins of black jazz musicians like Pharoah Sanders, Yusef Lateef, and Gil Scott-Heron, who briefly flirted with a Kenny during a dark period in the early 80s. Whether long and cylindrical or small and pointy, this beard lends a cool, cerebral air to the man who chooses to cultivate it, except for on Peter Yarrow, where it just made him look like a pervert. Speaking of looking like a pervert, it has become fashionable in indie rock circles to grow shaggy, uncontrolled, disturbing-looking beards whose wearers look even less manly than before they grew a beard. It is unclear whether the indie rock neckbeard is intended to emulate the redneck rock Grizzly Adams beard, the creative artist trying something out beard, or the letting yourself go beard. All that is known is that this beard ensures countless hours of laughs for all those who choose to gaze upon its owner. For good examples of this beard, check out Built to Spill's Doug March, or look at bands like the Black Heart Procession and the Apples in Stereo. Perhaps an influence on the indie rock neckbeard, super chops have been flourishing in tangled excess on the droopy cheeks of Neil Young for more than a decade. Graying and expensive, Young's super chops alternately look ominous and ridiculous. Influenced by Young, some alt-country rockers, like those in Sunvolt and Wilco, have adopted vaguely super chops. Opting for an approach opposite to that of the super chops or the indie rock neckbeard's laissez-faire attitude to facial hair, the boy band Black Sheep beard is an extremely close-cropped, almost insanely intricate interlocking network of pointed sideburns, demi-goatees, and carefully manicured soul-patch interstices, often lending its wearer's face the extremely detailed, over-designed look of a Nike tennis shoe. As per contract agreements, all early 2000s boy bands were required to have among their 5 members a sucker forced to adopt this mortifyingly embarrassing excuse for a beard. There are a great many different examples of the metal beard, but it is most often worn to confer an element of scariness or edginess. The finest metal beards have belonged to Mick Mars of Motley Crue, Lemmy of Motorhead, and James Hetfield of Metallica. Metal beards amplify, distort, and expand goatees, sideburns, and soul patches to disturbing effect. A wrinkle in the metal beard phenomenon spawned from the handsome chin of Anthrax's Scott Ian was the alt-metal novelty goatee. This beard, which often comes across as metal's answer to the boy band Black Sheep beard, is braided, dreaded, forked, pierced, or otherwise tortured to make its wearer look crazed and degenerate. The final and saddest entry into this rock and roll beard compendium is the Can't Quite Grow a Beard. Into this sorry category go all the rockers whose well-meaning attempts to grow kick-ass beards were foiled by their, and our, cold discovery that their callow chins were ill-equipped for beard growth. Instead of giving up, these artists stubbornly persist, embarrassing us all with their patchy, spotty, and variously ailing beards. Trey Anastasio of Fish needs to give up the fight, as does stringy singer-songwriter Elliott Smith. Elliott, you can stay. The beard has got to go.